or don't watch anything. What I do now that's new, and I don't think it's lined up with the injury, but it's definitely this year, is watch religiously World Cup cross country
Yeah, right.
racing
I haven't done that yet.
and prefer it potentially to downhill.
Wow. Okay. All
There you
right,
go.
Okay.
Right, talk us through the reasons why.
I guess, well, I've done a lot of downhill, so you're like, which is maybe goes back to your question about if you went to do world champs again. It's like the sting goes a little bit. Cross country's new, so it's like I'm learning a new sport and learning the names of people and trying to recognise who they are and what bike they're on. But you constantly know who's winning
Yeah.
because it's a mass start and it's first to the finish line wins. So it's really like live and in front of you. If in downhill, if someone's on a really good run, it's amazing and it's exciting. I guess part of the excitement is who's coming later, will they beat it? It's the uncertainty. But the cross country's like, I'm watching the person in the lead right now. They look like they're exhausted. The person 2 riders behind them looks a bit fresher. Where are they going to make their move? It's like, I've just done my whole life of a sport where it's you against the clock, whereas this is those guys or girls against the other ones.
I think
it's not an exciting, it's not like risk taking or
It's tactical. It's more like Tour de France watching, isn't it?
it's
like,
tactical, it's savage. I think the women's and the men's is equally great to watch. It's just who puts themselves through the most pain and crosses the line. It's wicked.
I feel like I can relate more to knowing what it's like to being on a heater of a run. Like I know, like you know what it's like where you've pinged 3 turns onto the flat and you've got good pedals in, and then you've braked really late and come into a turn and gone into the woods. You know what that feeling is. So like downhill, you can relate to it in that respect. I don't know what it's like to have a resting heart rate that low and to be able to bury myself that deep. Like I've probably been
I
quite
did a cross
fit for
country
a long
race
time. Yeah, what was that like?
A few months ago with this Mavic project where I'm doing, I'll do it again at the end of the year, but the just different disciplines I haven't necessarily tried before.
What's it called for the listeners?
Jono does. I've only done 2 of them so far. It was a cross country race and then a road crit.
Yeah.
Oh wow.
And the cross country
We'll put a link
was
in the show
so
description.
brutal. Oh, nice one. It's on Mavic's YouTube, I think.
I'll find it.
Where you want to find it.
So what were your tactics coming into the cross country, and was it really thought out, your approach to cross country, or were you just like going all out?
I was definitely the heaviest guy on the start line, without a doubt. And embarrassingly, like, I was given kind of all the gear. So I had a nice bike, had a really nice Lycra. And, like, nice Lycra does exist.
Yeah.
And I also had a bit of a film crew.
That'll add some pressure. What's
Turning it up at a relatively low-level cross-country race, like it was at Cannock Chase. I think it was called the Winter Classic. It was a brilliant event, actually. And I think anyone can enter, from kids to e-bikes to professional cross-country riders. And I sort of swagged my way in and got the front row for the start. Not in the pro race, admittedly. They set off a minute before us, and then the masses sort of were after that. And because we were videoing, I went to the start line really early and was talking about it or whatever, which meant I could get to the front with cameras and things. And there's people who obviously take it really serious, like, who's he? He's not skinny. Like, maybe he's good, but he's probably a joker.
got hairy legs? Who is this guy?
And I've never ever done a race where you don't sprint off the start line. So that's exactly what I did, and I completely hole shotted. And then you just spend the whole race just
Really?
just coming past you.
Really?
It must be how truck drivers feel on an autobahn or something.
Really, yeah.
But then,
in particular flat, in particular uphill, was it not really? You know, like where were your weakest
I
points?
made loads and loads and loads and loads of passes in the tech bits.
Yeah.
And it was a really cool feeling. And then the same people that you pass pedal past you again. But I will 100% will do more of them.
Oh, really? Yeah.
Definitely. Yeah, because you're on your own. You go through such peaks and troughs of how you're feeling.
Yeah.
Like in a downhill race or an enduro race or something, when you blow up, you're blown up till the finish line. Whereas this felt like you could blow up and sort of just lower it ever so slightly and
Give up.
get over that again. And then you're back to sort of normal again. It's like you're constantly trying to fight, not killing yourself.
Interesting.
How long's a
and that-
cross country race go on for?
An hour and 20 would be a normal length.
Okay.
What sort of
Now,
like
the
heart
World
rate?
Cup cross country would be on a Sunday. And now they do World Cup short track, which is on a Friday, which is also on the Red Bull channel. They show all of that, and it's 20 minutes.
Short track has got to be, if you're ever at a World Cup, that's got to be one of the most exciting things you could go and watch. That
Yeah,
got me
and it
into cross
seeds them.
country. Yeah.
Oh, really?
Yeah, because you're in the crowd and they always put it on a tight circuit and it's always around the finish line arena. So it's got a real good like crowd feel. And all the riders will come past. The crowd will then just run to the other side because you're always sort of like sandwiched in between bits of track. So the whole fucking crowd like runs over and you get to see. Oh, it's so easy to follow. It's so good.
Yeah.
And that's like men's, women's, juniors. Like every race is super exciting and. Yeah, I love the short track.
I think that's
That
what
got
a lot
me
of the
into
time
it.
people want, isn't it? That it's easy to follow, easy to watch, especially when you say it's just like right in front of you there. It's why, four cross is so exciting to watch. It's because it's just there. It's pretty simple, really, isn't it? It's really short. It's right there in front of you. Easy to film, all that sort of stuff.
One of the best for television, really, eh?
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
For sure.
And when I watch downhill, especially, I'm really like analytical with it and really trying to look at what's happening,
Yeah.
even if I don't necessarily able to do it myself. But like really like watching suspension and things like that. But when you watch cross country, I don't even know what bikes they're on. It's just like you watch their faces almost, and you're like, right, he's going to blow up. He's all right. And the commentators do the same. I tell you what, Rob Warner does a stellar job of commentating cross country. Like he makes it so
He's
engaging,
really
so
very
exciting.
good, isn't he? Yeah.
Yeah.
I wonder what he thinks of it. That'd be
Yeah.
interesting to know. I mean, I'm no doubt he's a fan, but I felt like
I really think it is.
Well, yeah, I feel like
he
up
loves
until
it, yeah.
recently, my own personal judgment of it was like the cross country is just something he had to do before he could come home on a Sunday night. But now,
Right.
I wonder if it seems to be having a bit of a resurgence. Like if people like you, Jono, are watching it more and stuff like that. I wonder if Warner's got more interested in it and whatnot. Because, like you say,
Could be
it
wrong,
makes
but I
it-
think-
He's got me into
Right.
it really because he explains things no matter how technical they are. I think he explains things in a way that everyone can understand.
Yeah.
Probably because he's learning it or has had to learn it that way because he's come from a background where he probably wasn't very interested in it. But he knows everything about everyone. He knows a result from 5 years ago that this rider did. He'll correct the other commentator a lot of the time. Well, I've heard that happen.
Wow.
Who was from the XC game. Yeah.
The
It's
viewing
good-
figures
good for the
eclipse
sport.
downhill as well. And it's
Did it?
like,
Is that right?
yeah. And it's like, where I live, we're all three of us are realistically in bubbles, aren't we? You don't see I wouldn't say I see cross-country riders, would you? People riding like cross-country bikes as
very rarely
You see
see like a
a
really
trail
like
bike.
high-end cross-country bike. Yeah, totally.
Yeah, or
really
just
rare.
like riding in that way. Like,
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a good point.
I don't actually see it, but I think that there are a bigger majority of bikes sold. I don't know that.
Would you say as well that there was a bit of almost like coming like when we were coming up, MBUK days and stuff like that? They used to almost take the piss out of the cross country stuff. I always remember MBUK did a sticker pack once, and one of the stickers was like XCJ Boy, and I always remember that sticker. But now maybe it's starting to merge a little bit more. I don't know. Like it's a bit more.
I went to there's events called Bucks Racing, which is the British University and Colleges sport. It's like the annual downhill and cross country race. And they had to, when I went to uni, they had to separate them to be done on different weekends because the downhillers put fairy liquid all over a wet
Oh my god! I remember that.
grassy corner.
There's loads of footage of people slipping off on that tight, like right off camber corner. Is it that?
Mulfrey, I think.
I
Yeah.
remember that.
Oh. But if I now could be best in the world at downhill, best in the world at cross country, I might have to say cross country.
Ooh,
There you go.
why?
It's just, I think it's great. I think it's so scientific.
Which-
like everything's just everything's technical. Like even the comment, mainly Bart, the other commentator, because he's come from that world and he's world champion or whatever. But they talk about riders who are on form, like they're at the, and it's all fitness, isn't it? Right? It's like, yeah, he's like, I don't know what the word would be.
Peaking, kind of.
Peaking at the moment, yeah. And like that, they literally go through peaks and troughs through the season of how their body as this tool for their team to get a result is being tuned all the time. And sometimes the tuning's a little bit off, like a porpoising F1 car, and sometimes it's like perfect.
Yeah.
And you get a longer career out of it as well. I think a lot of those guys would be late 30s and still.
Which one do you think is best paid?
Cross country.
Is it? Yeah, that's a fact.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
Did you enjoy this clip? If so, please like and subscribe. The full episode is available by hitting one of the links on the screen right now, or type The Ride Companion into your favourite podcast app. We've even put links in the show description for you. Cheers!